He was like this when I found him. I'm going to fucking prison, aren't I? Okay, so before the feds start raiding my home, let me explain what happened. During a year-long internship, I worked with a guy who I'm just going to call Tim. I loved this guy. I was obviously the most junior person in the firm, but he was pretty junior too, being only a few years older than me. Unfortunately, we worked in different teams. He handled the numbery finance kind of stuff, while I was on the sales support team. This mostly involved me staring at my computer and gently crying at my desk. However, since I was the intern, I would often assist members from outside of the sales support team, albeit not very well. Tim was one of my favourite people to work with. He was super friendly and he got me a bottle of whiskey for Christmas. The gift did not last very long. Something very important that you need to know about Tim is that he is allergic to nuts. Now, our office kitchen was really well stocked in the refreshment department. I'm talking snacks, sodas, bloody kombucha. I didn't even know what kombucha was until I started working there. And in the main office, there was a small desk that would always have fresh fruit, chocolates, and most noticeably, 2 long glass tubs of assorted nuts. That might sound irresponsible and dangerous, but one time I literally saw him walk over and eat an apple right next to the nuts. According to Nationwide Children's Hospital, you usually need to actually ingest the nuts to have an allergic reaction. Also, the office was always stocked with an EpiPen just in case. One week, my boss tells me that we're getting a new intern who's going to help us out for a couple of months. The partners were really sweet and would often have a meal or a drinks night arranged to welcome the new hires. On the Friday that she joined, we had a corporate-sponsored lunch at a nearby Italian place. It was a great time and we all had a chance to get acquainted with her. Some people used it as an excuse to drink and ordered shots of limoncello. I don't think the partners were thrilled about their staff getting tipsy halfway through the workday, but they let it slide. Once we had finished our mains, the waiter came over and handed us our dessert menus, and he let us know that the tiramisu was their speciality. They advised us to share them because the portions were really big. I was sitting opposite to Tim, so I convinced him to split one with me. When it came out, my god, they weren't kidding. It was like a massive, mushy slab. I cut it in 2 and gave Tim his half. I normally don't like desserts, but this was utterly divine. However, as I was lost in the delicious, rich flavours of coffee and cocoa, a terrible thought entered my mind. Doesn't tiramisu have nuts in it? Almost to confirm my fears, I felt a horrible sensation in my mouth. I stopped chewing and stared at Tim. Hey, Tim? Stop eating that for a sec. I looked him dead in the eyes and tentatively muttered, "We made sure there were no nuts in this, right?" His mouth just stopped moving as he glared back at me with terror all over his face. He got up from his seat and started speaking to one of the staff. Before he could even finish his question, he collapsed to the floor, and I was given 25 years for first-degree murder. Okay, so actually, it turned out that someone had let the staff know about the allergy beforehand, and I had just scared the ever-loving crap out of Tim for no reason. I looked it up afterwards and found out that traditional tiramisu does not contain nuts. I felt so embarrassed, but at least Tim is still alive. Ugh. This is only one of the many stupid things I did during my internship. You would be surprised by how many times I managed to humiliate myself in the span of a single year. I could probably dedicate this entire channel to just talking about those screw-ups and I would never run out of content. A little update, but by the time I've released this video, I will have moved to Bangkok. This is definitely the biggest decision I have ever made in my life. I'm super excited to make some incredible memories, many of which I will probably talk about at some point. If you know some fun things to do there, excluding the shady paid services, yeah, everyone knows about that stuff, please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching until the end of the video, and if you want to see more of my dumb shenanigans, please consider subscribing. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.